Sunny Carpenter, we'll start with you.
Great, thank you. So I think I'd like to leave you guys with two main points, one broad and one a bit more nitty-gritty. First one is in terms of coming up with how best to implement and or to change your compliance programs to update that. There's a lot of guidance out there in terms of, again, generalities and in looking at how best to tailor something to work well with what the government is going to be looking at. And so there's a lot of information out there, a lot of agencies out there that have put forth certain items of guidance and so on. A lot of that might be specific, too specific in terms of industry or area. But I guess my recommendation here is, no matter what happens, I think the DOJ does have some of the clearest and the most comprehensive guidance out there at the moment. Combining some of what they've put forth in their new compliance guidelines with what some of the more banking supervision, financial crimes guidance is out there as well, I think, to fill in some of those gaps makes a lot of sense. But to prevent creating a one-size-fits-all type of compliance program, the one big thing for me is to advise you all to look at the guidelines from the DOJ and really work through the three main questions to identify your best way to put something forward for yourself. The second thing, which is a bit more general, is, again, going back to the concept of whether the financial institutions would want to participate in the voluntary 314B information sharing programs with FinCEN. Again, resources and such, assuming that that's all there for the institution. I would think that it would be it's a really good idea. It's a good program. It's a good way to gather information on customers and transactions, to facilitate filing of comprehensive SARs, to building a comprehensive and accurate picture of a customer's activity, aiding and detecting money laundering, terrorist financing, and all the underlying crimes that might be involved. It's a program that completely complements a strong compliance program. And although there is some vagueness as to how it applies, that can be addressed, again, through getting some assistance from outside, consultants, counsel, and so on. But I think I'd leave you with the consideration of 314B programs.
Excellent. Thank you so much again to Sunny Carpenter. I want to turn now to Maureen. Any final thoughts you'd like to share with our attendees?
Yes, sure. So final thoughts. BSA AML risk assessment, again, are the foundation for your compliance program. The better the assessment, the better program you can develop. I think knowing where your risks lie will allow you to evaluate the program and truly spend the time on the higher risk areas. Thinking about, are you mitigating the areas that pose you and your institution the most risk? Technology improvements can strengthen your program while making it more effective and efficient. And last thought, which is not new, but always worth mentioning, testing, validating, documenting, and communicating with your regulators is so important to remember when you're doing any type of process.